No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, good afternoon, college basketball fans. We got a showdown in the Mountain West here at ExtraMile Arena as the Boise State Broncos, 14-7 on the season, take on the 5-16 Fresno State Bulldogs here at ExtraMile Arena. We bring you courtside. Welcome on in here. Our man Abe Jackson, you'll hear him coming up on Learfield KBOI coverage of Boise State, Fresno State. He'll be on the pregame show with Bob Beeler in about 24 minutes, and then he'll have the call 2 o'clock with Bob, and always appreciate you spending a few minutes on the pregame show. Abe, with us, nice Saturday afternoon. We got these 8 p.m., 8:30, 9 p.m. games coming, so certainly nice to get a 2 p.m. Saturday game here.
Well, not only are the late ones coming, but we've already had a few of them. 9 o'clock at New Mexico and 8, and when you're those 8 o'clock and 9 o'clocks, you know you're tipping at like 8:15 or 9:15 because of the slide. So good to have an afternoon game. Hopefully there's a good crowd, and then everyone can kind of get on with their business afterwards.
Now, I did a little editing, Abe, so it looks like we're on the Jumbotron today. So
yes, let's go.
We are not on the Jumbotron. They're actually having some issues, it looks like, with the Jumbotron here, to be honest. But nice win the other day for Boise State. We talked about the changes. We talked about all the various lineups and rotations and everything, and we certainly saw a little bit of that with Dylan Anderson, Chris Lockett not playing, Keene, Ugbo going back into the starting lineup. Are we expecting more of the same today? If it works, don't if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I haven't heard anything different, so that's what I would expect. And the coaching staff in that last game wanted to get their best defensive players by the numbers on the court, and you could see it at the halftime in the shooting percentages. Now, they didn't light it up themselves offensively, but if you were looking to improve your defense, which I think was a big thing the Broncos needed to do, if you look at some of the shooting percentages that some of these teams have had against the Broncos, that they needed a good defensive outing, and they got it with that lineup.
Ugbo's the one that, you're a player, like, you get 2.5 minutes and then you go out. Like, is there really a difference for Javen Buchanan if he sits for 2 minutes and then comes in for starting? Like, what do you think the coach's mindset is there as to why not just start Javen Buchanan?
I think it comes down to talking with the player, really, and maybe where they feel comfortable. And I feel like that if that's the case, because it's only 2 or 3 minutes for Ugbo when he's starting, I don't think it's something that they think that they have a better shot with Ugbo out there than they do Buchanan, because Buchanan plays the majority of the game then. I think it's just maybe the feel, and maybe Javen's comfortable coming off the bench. Maybe he likes that. Some players do. They like to watch and get a feel of the game sitting there and visually before they go out there and start playing. So, it all goes into the conversations with the players, the feel that you have throughout the season. And if you look at that Nevada game, that was a very solid win.
And if they can get Buchanan, I'm not saying Buchanan's going to score 19 a game, but if he can be a consistent 15 points, 30-minute type guy, I mean, that's kind of the production you thought you were getting from Omar Stanley. But, I mean, that kind of does – you can get another third guy with Cardenas and Degenhart that you can count on to give you a legitimate offensive game. Like, that changes things for them. It
does, and the way that he's scoring is what I really like, is that you saw at the beginning of the year, Tyson and Javen's offense was very similar. I mean, it was back downs. It was maybe some moves from a couple feet off the block and then going in. But Javen has expanded his offense, and he's driving. He's hitting threes. He's shooting a phenomenal percentage in conference. And so they've kind of gone away from being very similar offensively, and it's helped the Broncos because Tyson is such a dominant player when he gets the ball in the paint somewhere. And Javen now has become a lot more versatile, shooting the ball and maybe some pull-up jumpers at the mid-range.
He's Abe Jackson, top 10 scorer all-time in Boise State history, one of the best players, shooters in program history, and as we've learned to hear, quite the ladies' man as well back in the day. But
I didn't give myself that nickname. That wasn't me.
We already had two comments about it. I mean, we always appreciate you, as always, coming on, and we'll be listening again in about 20 minutes over on you're on the – there's a – what do we know today? I know there's a women's game, so it's a little different. You guys are on the AM side or the FM side?
Just tune into both.
I'm going to read Bob Beeler's text on your next
one. I didn't get a text from Bob.
No, he tweeted it out, so I'll find it. I'm going to clarify here. But the defensive effort that we saw against Wyoming, and I was talking on Johnny and Prater's show about it this week. And by the way, you guys are on the FM today. 93.1 FM for the men's game. The women's game is on 670. So 93. That's right? Yes. Thanks for the plug. 93.1 FM KBOI radio is the I'm making sure I got it right for your guys' game coming up at 1:30.
I probably should have known that.
Yeah, you maybe.
Well, I don't know where we go. I just talk.
AM will be for the women's game, but the defensive effort. I was on their show earlier, and you look at the defensive. You say, the defense has been bad, whatever. You look at the numbers, they're still in terms of defensive efficiency, top 25% in the country. They're 82nd out of 360 teams. Usually they're top 30, so it's been bad for Boise State standards, but it hasn't necessarily been terrible. It was obviously a little better, especially early in the game against Nevada. What can they build on, and what do you continue to want to see defensively here?
Well, I want to see definitely out-rebounding teams, because that's part of being a good defensive team, is finishing that defensive possession with the rebound. But then also just physicality. I feel like in some of these games, the physicality has really gotten to the Broncos, and not just from when we're on defense, but also when we're on offense. I think teams have started to understand that if you pressure the Broncos outside that three-point line, they'll have a tough time getting into a flow. I mean, we're probably averaging, 2 or 3 shot clock violations a game, maybe. I mean, so
in the first media,
and so teams are really starting to pressure the Broncos outside that 3-point line, and it's been working well. So the toughness defensively, but also toughness offensively, I think is something good for the Broncos.
Yeah, but on the defensive side, I mean, the Boise State's defense, I think we all agree, is going to be the key to the season here. I mean, the offense is actually, in the numbers wise, one of the top offenses they've had in the last 25 years in terms of just the efficiency numbers. I know the 3-point percentage, some of the other stats aren't there, but does this team have what it takes to be a defensive team that can help win them games down the stretch here?
I think so, but what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to rely on their rotations and on their smarts on the defensive side, because there's no one really in the paint that's going to affect shots at the rim. You don't really have a shot blocker that you can say, you know what, let's really pressure them, because if they get by us, we got so-and-so inside that can affect it. That's not really how this team is built defensively. So it comes down to rotations, floor position, and being smart, and maybe not taking some overly risky chances on the defensive end.
It's just kind of one game at a time. You're not thinking about, the at-large bid for the tournament, all this stuff. What is this just another one today? I mean, it's a game you're favored to win by 20 points. It's expected to be a big win. You're coming off a nice win. Like, is it just you just hope that can focus on yourselves and a lot of those things we've been talking about? Just hope that you continue to build some momentum from that standpoint?
Of course. I mean, that's definitely what you need to do. You take a look at the numbers. Fresno's getting out-rebounded by 8 a game in conference. They're getting outscored by over 12. They're giving up almost 85 points a game in conference. So you don't have to do anything above and beyond what you normally do. And so that really comes back to what we just talked about on defense. You don't have to do anything risky defensively. Do your scheme, be where you're supposed to be, and you don't really have to make crazy plays in this game because the numbers are telling you that if you play normal and they play normal, you're going to have a solid win.
Now, we've been to the Save March Center plenty of times.
Yep.
We know that program, and in this league, I mean, a couple of these teams are trying to rebuild. Wyoming,
Sure.
Obviously Fresno. But, I mean, in this league, even though it's a quote-unquote down league, with some of the venues you got to go to, some of the players, it's a tough league to have to completely start over in. And certainly Vance Wahlberg, 40-plus years of coaching, but he's got a tough rebuild job ahead of him, and it's been a tough year so far.
It has been. And you take a look at Fresno State, and I would say that haven't really had – let's see, how do I want to phrase this? They've had a lot of good individual players that can take over a game. But if you look at a program as a whole – they haven't really been that solid of a program over the last few years. They've had a season here, maybe an okay one here, and they've had really good players, Paul George, Marvell Harris, players of the year in the conference. But overall,
Orlando Robinson,
they have some really great players that have made it to the NBA and been successful. But if you just take a look at Fresno as a basketball program, it's really been just kind of a medium program. So really hard to rebuild there.
Yeah, Vance Wahlberg seems like a nice guy, but in this league, we see how hard it is for Boise State with 8 new players, a couple transfers to all mesh together. When you're building a brand new roster like he is, and they should have won that game the other night though against Wyoming.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Yeah, that's one that you look and of course, it's not going to change their season with the wins that they have right now. But anything positive that you could grab from any win would be good. But yeah, that was a tough one for Fresno.
Okay, so tonight or this afternoon, just in terms of a keys or game plan, I hate to disrespect Fresno and say it's all about yourself today, but I want to see the defense continue to improve. I want to see some of these guys in the rotations continue to form on offense. And, hopefully you get to a point where you can get Chris Lockett and Anderson and some of these guys in the game because you're up by 30.
Yeah, that would be nice. You'd like to have a very non-stressful game. Maybe get some of your starters not logging the 33, 37 minutes that we see them usually do. But, this is also a Mountain West basketball team, and any team can get hot. So the numbers can say one thing, but there's always teams that knock down a bunch of threes or all of a sudden you get cold. So it's not one of those things that you can come into the game thinking we're going to be up by 30 really quick. It might be one of those grind out games, but as long as at this point in the season, as long as you come out with a win, that's what you need, because the at-large bids are still a pretty good long shot. So you just got to start racking up wins where you can.
Again, 93.1 FM. I don't know why they did this to you, man, but you're going to have some ratings. I mean, they got Jay Tust on the call on the Mountain West Network today. They're really making it tough for folks to decide if he shows up. But, they're making it tough here for folks to decide. Abe Jackson, Bob Beeler, or Jay Tust, Brian King. Find me a better tandem in the Mountain West today around the country.
Maybe we should just switch at halftime. Let me and Bob.
Oh, let's do that. Switch at halftime.
We could do. Don't the other programs like the football do a basketball game and the basketball do a football?
Yes.
Bob and I go do a Mountain West game on TV. Jay and Brian.
What would that be like for you? That'd be kind of fun, actually.
That would be kind of fun. I wouldn't know where to look. There's no cameras in our face.
Man.
That'd be pretty awkward.
Folks can, for now, maybe turn down Jay Tuss, even though we love you, Jay. Listen 93.1 to Bob and Abe, and go back and watch Brian King and Jay later, maybe on the replay.
There we go. Okay.
Appreciate you, Abe.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot, man. And hopefully a happy postgame here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We appreciate
right.
Abe Jackson for joining us. Thanks a lot, Abe. Abe Jackson, again, you can hear him coming up 93.1 FM. Hey, where are you watching from? Give us your shout-outs, or we'll give you a shout-out, but let us know where you're watching from. Let us know your score predictions. Let us know your thoughts on this one. Boise State, Fresno, how you feeling about the team? Let us know, and we'll get to that shortly here. Hey, our title sponsor is Johnny Ballgame. Get set to join us. Is roepaint.com, roepaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, hit up our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. You know the Nicolason family will be here, SO in management, TacoBellWorks.com. The Rains boys got some Taco Bell this afternoon. Had some hitting lessons, wanted to go home, watch the game. So the Rains boys, I saw the picture. They were in the drive-thru at Taco Bell. Taco Bell, hit up one of the local Treasure Valley locations. Great food, great prices, and if you're looking for a job, they are hiring. Get more information at TacoBellWorks.com. We had Tyson Degenhart join us on Thursday, courtesy of Idaho Central Credit Union. ICCU.com, all your banking needs. You'll be happy you made the switch to ICCU. I know you may like your banking experience, but I can promise you, folks, it's unmatched over at ICCU. Branch pretty much on every corner. Hit them up. But, of course, the mobile eBranch online banking is the easiest in the world. That is Idaho Central Credit Union. Jackson's, the Broncos can get to 70 points today, which, frankly, would be a disappointment if they don't. The over-under for BSU is 84 today. They get to 70. You get a hot dog and a fountain drink and even a banana for $2 on Monday at Treasure Valley Jackson's locations. 70 points gets you a hot dog, a soda, and a banana for $2 2 days after the game at Jackson. So be looking for that. And that is coming up on Monday. And I do want to thank Snake River Pool and Spa as well. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, thespateam.com. Spa, pool table, sauna, they got you covered. 4 locations, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Hit them up at Snake River Pool and Spa. And, of course, the Blue and Orange Store. You know Travis Hawks and company will be here. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Get those jerseys, the hats, the sideline apparel, the coaches' gear, sweatshirts, bumper stickers, logo golf balls. They got it all. They got you covered. The best selection, the best prices. Debuted right there before that 2006 season. Stick with one of the folks that have been supporting the Broncos for a long time. They're getting ready to have their 20th anniversary of the Blue and Orange Store coming up. So support the sponsors, folks, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Johnny Ballgame joins us here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We appreciate we're not as tall as Abe. We're going to lower this down a little bit here. Johnny, Fresno State Athletics. Can we start there? Aaron Judge, a Fresno State alum, right?
Yeah.
Paul George, Fresno State. Do they have the best baseball-basketball combo in the Mountain West? I know Utah had the first pick in the draft. Obviously, we're not throwing football. I mean, I guess you can throw football in there, and that changes it, obviously. But in terms of non-football, NFL stars from the conference, they had their share of football players at Fresno, too, over the years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Aaron Judge and Paul George, 2 legit all-stars. Like, Paul George was an Olympian. And Aaron Judge, there's, outside of maybe, Shohei, Aaron Judge is the biggest baseball player in the country, maybe on the planet or close to it, if not second. But, yeah, Fresno's got a couple of big names there. They do better for what they have always. And I always kind of respect that about Fresno. They're kind of that tough, scrappy dude that doesn't necessarily live in the nicest neighborhood or have the best shoes or coolest stuff, but they find a way to hang and they find a way to matter. And I heard you and Abe talking a little bit about it. Consistent basketball. Never in my life has Fresno had. And I go back to when Jerry Tarkanian tried to fix this. Chris Herron, there's a name for some people. Like they tried here and there. Skip to my Lou, Rafer Alston, but just consistently Fresno. I don't know. They haven't been able to figure basketball out anywhere close to where they can figure football out, BJ. And this new Pac-12 that I love, basketball-wise, with Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Dude, Fresno, get hot. Get a cool, maybe name or a younger coach and try to matter more. Or else, dude, it's going to be worse for Fresno going into a new league.
Well,
we
talked about it. They got a 6:20 Southwest flight tonight. They're not even chartering on a Saturday. They got to fly commercial still. And I know it was only a couple of years ago to when Boise State was doing that too. It's not like it's been going on for
a
long time.
6:20 flight. They're like, guys, let's go. Come on.
They're not playing for overtime today.
No, run Rudolph through the airport terminal, Home Alone style, man. These guys don't really have to do that all too often anymore. But yeah, Fresno. It's down in the dumps, man. I don't expect
we're going to have a broadcaster today. He's
here. There he is, man. Jay Tust.
Jay Tust in the building at 1:23.
Tusties. He hates
He does
us.
he does a really good job, though. I'm looking forward to that.
I love Tust on Mountain West Network. Hell yeah, man.
Although John Anderson is sitting in his seat right now. So
Oh,
that could be,
Tust. That's pretty good stuff. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. Fresno.
You had to bring Fresno for the football, though, right? Or what'd you make of Fresno being part of that Pac-12?
Yes, I love it. Fresno, Jeremiah Dickey. We want like-minded institutions. Fresno wants to be good at football, and they will do what it takes to be good at this level. And I expect Fresno in the new football league to be right at the top, upper echelon. Fresno's a better program football-wise, certainly, than San Diego State is year in, year out, right? Fresno's always been able, in my opinion, to compete with the Washington States, the Oregon States, to a degree, the Boise States, not to that level, but they're pesky. They can hang, and they're good against everybody else. So yeah, I think Fresno's a good fit for football, and it's just one of those schools, man. Sometimes you wonder, why UCLA never figured out football and USC never figured out basketball. They're in the same neighborhood, and one is known for one, the other known for the other, and honestly, not bad, but not good historically. UCLA isn't good historically in football. Neither is USC in basketball. It's weird, BJ, how certain institutions kind of put their resources. Maybe Fresno's kind of in that spot for hoops.
I don't want to scare anybody, but we may be having more Jumbotron issues today.
Are you serious? Oh, because it's
over
typically
there,
on.
and it looks like they're having some issues over there on the sides. We may be having some Jumbotron issues.
People aren't going to like that. That's going to be tough. People aren't going to like that. This is the final matinee afternoon Saturday game in Tyson Dagenhart's career. They'll get it going. They always do.
What'd you make of the Nevada win, and can that be kind of a little bit of a building block here for this team?
Yes. Building block. I don't know if it matters who you play now, right? You just have to win. You're on life support in terms of an at-large bid. I mean, and I say keep this thing going. Keep winning. In the schedule, you've detailed it often. The schedule could support someone not being a complete moron, saying that they can go, 9-1? I don't think you're a moron saying that, looking at this schedule.
No.
And in this league, I mean, Utah State, you already went there, and you had a lead with less than 10 seconds in Logan. However, I mean, so that's probably the toughest game in the league. You've done that. I mean, that's where I am with this team. Every win is a building block.
Who do you like tonight, by the way? Utah State hosting New Mexico.
That's a good one, and I can't wait to watch that game. What are you doing tonight?
I was going to stop by the house, man, and watch the game.
At your house?
No, yours.
Yeah, BJ, stop. No, what were you? Did you have plans tonight?
When you got a 7- and 9-year-old,
yeah,
you probably have plans that you don't know about.
Okay, so you're just expecting. I get you. Yeah,
not sure yet. Not sure yet, to be honest. But
maybe Karen, type in
what
the
time's
chat.
that game at? What time's that game at? 7, 6, 8?
Probably 9.
I look forward to. I don't know on a Saturday if it's at 9.
On tonight.
I look forward to watching that game.
I'll go with Utah State at home. I mean, that's the easy play. But
what's the spread?
Excuse me. Let me check on that.
Do we know a spread on that one? I'm guessing Utah State -3. What do you think?
I'm going to say Utah State. That's a good one. I'll stick with Utah State -3. I'll say 4. It is. I hate doing this.
Yep, we're live on the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show. We appreciate you guys for checking us out. Again, if you have score predictions and thoughts, 7:30 start time, according to Quentin, and the line is
-5 for Utah State. I almost like the value there. New Mexico money line play at +167.
There's our man Greg McVeigh, our first private jet trip winner here. Remember Greg?
He did win
that.
He's wearing a Bronco Nation News T-shirt.
I love it. It. 78-58 is the projection here. 104-70. What's your gut tell you? The over-under is 84 for Boise State.
Under.
Under.
I think it's under, and I blame more Fresno for that than Boise for that. I blame, Leon not, pedal to the metal with 6 minutes left when they're up by 17 to 21 points, right? That's kind of where I see this game. As far as the point spread, Boise is 17, 18.5 point winner.
19
It's up to 19.5. So they got to win this thing by 20. I could see that a situation. They're up 22-23 with 4:14 left. And at that point, they get on a run, and it's a backdoor cover for Fresno. I won't be surprised if Boise State doesn't win by 20-plus points. I don't know who BJ's talking to right now. Some dude over there flagged him down, just struck up a conversation. But that's what I think is going to happen for that, BJ. That was weird.
I love folks that just see you in a headset.
That's weird.
Nice guy, subscriber to BNN, so I want to help him out, but we are, live on the air here. We got 2 minutes left with you, Johnny. Any final thoughts for you? Nice crowd filing in. I expect it to be a nice crowd on a someone's here today. B. Spain finally got to a game. They want to know the scouting report on Fresno here from Quentin. How do you think Boise State's defense will handle their scoring threats, especially their key perimeter players? I'm sure you know all about Fresno's key perimeter players, Johnny.
Well, I mean, how many teams are in the Mountain West? 11.
Yes.
They rank 9th in three-point percentage in this league. So I don't know where the Arsenal's coming from. Maybe they've been hot the last 3 or 4 games. I haven't broken down the game logs. Certainly on a 1-win team. I'm not going to worry about that as much.
They got a 7-1 guy, Morsak, man.
He looks legit.
And I wonder if that means we see Dylan Anderson today.
No, but
7-footer.
I mean, he looks like not Sada and Ganga. Who was the other Mo
Silla?
He looks like Mo Silla. I mean, he's a monster. He's huge. I don't know if he's going to play like Mo Silla or somebody else as well. I mean, that's yet to be determined. I'm done with seeing the biggest, toughest-looking guys, the best guy. It's not always the case, as you know, in college hoops. Today, it's a show-me game, BJ. Meadow needs to show me. Meadow needs to show me that he's going to be a fixture in this thing. He's leading the team in free throw percentage. Attack the basket more. Get to the line. Use what's working. Make 40% of your threes. Show me, Meadow. Defend. I don't want to look at BJ 4 times this game when the offensive game plan of Fresno is get the ball to whoever Meadow is defending and go right to the rack. Let's see if that happens as often tonight. Hopefully it won't. They've worked on it. So I want to see Meadow play really well tonight. And Julian Bowie, dude, I want more minutes. And I want him to show me what he can do in extended minutes. I believe Julian Bowie should be playing 25-plus minutes a night on this team. He's shooting 50% from downtown in conference play.
I agree.
Shoot more. He's shooting, and Peanut's the second best three-point shooter on this team in league play, 46%. I want to see if those guys are going to stay, if that's just what they're going to shoot or close to it. Keep shooting your way out of it. If you're open, don't pass up an open shot. Same with RJ Keene. No open shots passing up. Those guys, if you have it, take it. You've been making it.
I made a mistake. I was going to get Leon Rice's. You were at the press conference post-game, right? Leon's brothers are here.
Yeah.
2 of Leon's brothers are here again today, and I see one of them sitting over there by himself. I should have had him come on the show, man.
Oh, man.
People would have liked to have heard from Leon's brother, you think?
Where is he?
He's sitting over there by himself in the blue polo. He's probably watching. He's a big fan of
that's Leon's brother.
He's got 2 of his brothers here, and they're all crashing in Max Rice's room and Cade's room, and they're just hanging. The Rice family's hanging out, man. 2 home games. I should have. I just saw him sitting over there. Now I'm mad at myself that I didn't do it. But Johnny, appreciate you as always, man.
Well, take a quick break.
No, I don't have time for that.
And go run and grab Leon's brother. You guys want Leon's brother on the show? He's right there.
You can help me out if you want to. That's all right. People are saying the Pac-2 media deal is dying. Is there some news on the Pac-2?
Haven't heard.
Okay. We got Mr. Buchanan watching. Javen's dad watching from Indiana.
Part of my big 3, Tyson, Alvaro, Buchanan. Those players have to lead this team in minutes.
And Uncle
those
Buchanan.
Players have to lead this team in scoring. And those team players need to be the leaders of this team. It's their team. Omar Stanley, I mean, if it comes back, outstanding. They need it. If it doesn't, this season, I don't know where it's going to go. But if it's going to do anything, as it sits right now, is those 3 kind of need, I think, to step up and carry this thing, BJ. But
all right, Johnny, we got to get you off, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Let's go.
All right, man.
KTIK 95.3 The Ticket, Monday through Friday. Prater in the ball game. KTIK.com. Get the KTIK app on your phone.
There you go.
Love ya.
There you go. Somebody's asking what's wrong with the ribbon board. I'm not sure, but there is some serious problems going on right now with the ribbon boards. We'll see what happens. There was a game earlier this year where they didn't work and had no videos, no pregame, no nothing. I don't know if they're trying to fix that or what. I see some marketing folks on the phone. But yes, we could have a little issue here with the video boards not working right now for Boise State. That is something that we will continue to monitor here. Hey, we're going to have Nathan Carroll join us again. Keep getting those score predictions in. Keep getting your pregame thoughts, comments. We'll play those here shortly. We love our friends at Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. We also love Lithia Ford of Boise. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can get your full inventory of vehicles online. They've got those new NIL deals with Latrell Caples, Cage Casey, Roger Carrion. They're putting your favorite athletes in Lithia cars and trucks and keeping them here in Boise. So return the favor for your next car or truck. Make sure you go purchase it from Jim Sturk and Company at Lithia Ford of Boise. Matt Bauscher Real Estate. The Raines family found firsthand just how great Matt Bauscher and his team are. We bought and sold our home using Matt. Tremendous customer service every step of the way. BauscherRealEstate.com is the website. BauscherRealEstate.com. BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com is their website. Get savings up to 40% off when you download the Skip app. Ridley's Family Markets, locations in Twin Falls, Boise area, McCall, all across the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Great feel when you go into the grocery store. And again, savings up to 40% at the checkout line, downloading that Skip app. Find a location near you at ShopRidleys.com. You looking for a job? How about the trucking industry, transportation, compliance service? TransCompService.com. They can help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way. TransCompService.com. Complete trucking compliance management, DOT, overweight, any permit you need. Check them out at TransCompService.com. Our friends at Lean Feast. I have gotten to 37 pounds down in about 3 months, thanks mostly to Lean Feast. I've done a little working out, to be honest with you. It really has just been eating healthier and eating better thanks to Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com, 10,000-plus combinations, healthy eating options. And we want your post-game voicemails. Early game today, so plenty of time to take your voicemails. SpeakPipe.com/BNN, courtesy of My Signature Roofing. MySignatureRoofing.com, and our friends at Signature Roofing been covering our community for more than 20 years. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, an estimate, they got you covered. Check them out online at MySignatureRoofing.com. And again, SpeakPipe.com/BNN is the website to leave us a voicemail. Yeah, you see the video board is not working right now. The ribbon board on one of the sides is working, not the other side. That's better than last time when it was literally just blank. So we'll see what they're working on here. They got 24 minutes to figure it out, but the clock stopped at 61 minutes. So that's when it went out, I think. When that clock was at 61 minutes, it looks like it is frozen over there on their clock. So I'm sure the marketing folks are doing the best they can, folks. We'll see if they can get it. I'm sure it's a frustrating time for folks here at Boise State, but it's already happened once before this season. Now they're trying to get it fixed as well. But we bring in our man, Nathan Carroll, part-time contributor for us here at Bronco Nation News. Appreciate you, Nathan, for jumping on back-to-back games for you. And obviously a game where on the metrics going into this game shouldn't be much of a game in terms of, or you'd hope in terms of, winning the game. But, I guess it's the Mountain West. You never know. But certainly you do want to see Boise State kind of continue to build off some of the things we saw against Nevada. Yeah, definitely. It's a team that you hope that Boise State keeps the hot streak going. Make it a hot streak, I guess. Make it 2 in a row. And it's I think the line on this is 19.5. Ken Palm has it as a 20-point game. Which seems a little high for me. Mountain West basketball, 20-point spread's a lot of points, man. If you look at in Mountain West play, Fresno State against everyone except Air Force, who is the bottom of the conference. Every single Fresno State game has either been surprisingly a little bit close or just outright blowout, right? They play New Mexico on the road and they lose that by, I think, 38 or 28. 28 on that one. Yeah. But then they go on the road to Logan, play Utah State fairly close. They should have won that game at Wyoming. Yeah, should have won at Wyoming. They're up 3 with 5 seconds left and a foul to give, and they don't foul. Wyoming ties it up and then steamrolls them in overtime. So Fresno State, they do some things to be a little bit frisky. They play a really fast-paced offense. On defense, they'll throw out some presses. They'll throw out some zones, throwing out junk stuff to try to get teams off their rhythm. But the reality is, Fresno State is not a very good basketball team just in terms of talent. They're in the middle of a rebuild. They've brought in one stat that I saw, they're in the bottom 20 in D1 in terms of D1 experience. Yep. Almost all the guys they're playing are call-ups from like D2, D3, JUCO NIA, or freshmen that they're playing. So
Boise State's going to be the more talented team, and you hope it's a game where they come out, you play good defense, because Fresno State, they're the worst shooting team in the conference once conference play has started. It's a game that you hope Boise State just comes out and exerts their will on Fresno State. But Fresno State, they've been frisky, so there's a chance. We'll see what we get.
What do you specifically from Boise State in terms of aside from just winning by 50 points, what tonight for you or today to you would be a game where you say, okay, that's 2 in a row where it's trending in the right direction again, which it should happen no matter what in this game, but just based on the score. But in terms of what you'd like to see offensively, defensively, for you to leave here going, all right, that's another encouraging game, some more encouraging signs, what would that be?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I want to see the lineup with Cardenas, Buchanan, Keene, Meadow, and Dagenhart play really well as a unit, especially defensively again. Last game, they played Tyson at the 5 for about 25 minutes of the game. And defensively, those lineups hadn't been holding up super well all season. They did a phenomenal job against Nevada. So those lineups where Tyson is at the 5, continue that defensive intensity, continue that defensive activity. Last game, Boise State forced 15 turnovers. It was one of their season highs this year. Doing some of those things is what would have me encouraged going forward. I think the big thing, though, just in terms of making sure that you win this game, is dominating the glass. Fresno State's the worst rebounding team in the conference. They're one of the worst teams in the country in terms of offensive and defensive rebounding. It should be a game that, kind of like the Texas Southern game, Boise State should be able to be plus 10, plus 15 on the boards. And I think that's the key to just getting the win. But for me to be encouraged going forward, seeing some defensive intensity, seeing that ball pressure again would have me excited.
Yeah, and, I want to see – we're waiting for the starting lineup here. I'm guessing they're going to do the same thing and then play Ugbo as 3 minutes and get him out of there. But, which, you know what? I don't really care as long as you're getting 30 minutes. And there he is, folks. There he is. The great Vern Harris takes the floor at ExtraMile Arena. I actually got some love, by the way, from Utah State fans today because apparently Utah State fans just can't stand Vern Harris. And there was a report where they were worried that Vern Harris was going to be doing the big game against New Mexico tonight. And when I got here and saw the list and Vern Harris was here in Boise, I tweeted back to the Utah State fans, and now all of a sudden the Utah State fans love me because I told them Vern Harris wasn't going to be there tonight. But
where does that come from? What's their beef with Vern? Do you know?
I don't know specifically. I just think he's a guy that you either love him or hate him. I guess.
Been on the floor for a couple of bad losses.
He's had he was the one years ago at Colorado State against Boise State when they had the clock issue. Remember that? I don't. You're too young, man. You probably weren't even alive back then. But there was a game in Fort Collins with him and David Hall, and I forget the third official, where the James Webb III hit a buzzer beater from like half court to win the game. They waved it off after review but the clock they were looking at was moving in too fast. The DV Sport had a glitch in the system, and they eventually fixed it, and the league, was wrong, and Boise State should have won, and Vern Harris was one of the ones that didn't realize the clock they were looking at was moving twice as fast as the actual clock, even if they weren't looking at the clock on the board. Anyway, I know Boise State fans have some beef with Vern Harris also, but apparently they love me now because I told them, don't worry, Vern Harris won't be there tonight. Yeah. But Vern Harris could have got a much better game today if he wanted to, I'm sure, but I think he's probably got a flight tonight.
Yeah.
He wanted to get home and have a Saturday night at home and a Sunday at home. And so I'm guessing the only reason Vern Harris, because the other two guys are inexperienced guys that I've never met. And when there's 150 games on a Saturday, you don't usually typically get a good crew for a game like this.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing Vern Harris saw this and thought, you know what? I can get in and out today and get somewhere else, either to ref tomorrow or go home for a day. And so you get the great Vern Harris today. But what was I saying? Oh, Buchanan. I want to continue to see Buchanan. And again, is he going to score 19 a game? I don't know. But I want to see him continue to establish himself as one of the quote-unquote big three at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think post-game, someone asked Javen Buchanan who's been some of the vocal leaders in the locker room this week, and he was listing some guys, and Alvaro Cardenas interrupted him and said, it's Javen. Javen's the guy who's been vocal this week, trying to get us back on track. So it seems like he's been taking more of a leadership role, especially vocally with this team. I agree. I want to see him empowered as an offensive player. He's one of the few guys on this team that when he puts up a contested jumper, you usually feel pretty good about it going in because he's got the length and athleticism to score over Mountain West defenders. One other thing I'd love to see in this game, and Leon talked about it post-game, we thought it was the coolest stat line ever. RJ Keene plays 30 minutes and doesn't get a shot up. And Leon Rice seemed pretty annoyed by that fact. He wants RJ Keene shooting. He was adamant saying post-game, RJ Keene, I recruited him here to shoot the ball. I want him to shoot the ball. I'm curious to see how many shots RJ Keene gets up today.
What do you put the over-under at? Johnny, over-under RJ Keene shot attempts today. What's the over-under for RJ Keene shot attempts? 2.5. What do you think about that?
Over.
You're going to go over 2.5. Okay.
I would take alt line over 5.5. I think it's a game that if Boise State gets up early, let's say, they're up 15-20 at the end of the first half, I think they make a point to empower RJ Keene as a scorer in the second half, try to get his confidence up as a shooter. So I'm going well over 2.5. I don't think that sticks going forward. I think when they play UNLV, I don't think he's getting 5 or 6 shots up. But I think today he gets, well over 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, in warm-ups, you watch him shoot. He's athletic. He can make some shots, but it just hasn't translated to the games at this point. I guess when you're struggling, there's always that chicken or the egg thing, and he's not out there to score, though.
Right. He knows his role is to be extremely high energy, be a good defender, be a rebounder, be a passer. And so when that's your role on the team, that's where your mind's going to be at, and you're going to get the ball to guys like Tyson Dagenhart, like Alvaro Cardenas, and try to empower them as scorers. So, I think that in most games, his role is going to be fairly low shot volume and mostly just, taking open threes when he gets a chance. But against what should be an inferior opponent, I think they're going to try to empower him, get him some more shots up.
Apparently, they just made an announcement. Here in the arena that the scoreboard is off today. Limited. But that's why you turn on the Mountain West Network and listen to Jay Tust and who's he doing? Brian King, I think, today. But,
okay. They
just announced it would be limited. That's got to be disappointing. A conference home game, and you can't figure out the scoreboard.
Yeah, and they've been making a lot of changes. They've got new speaker systems in here. They've got new production going on.
That's just oh man, you got to feel for Boise State because they're trying so hard. And how can you get an atmosphere when you have no video, no intro? I mean, that is that's a buzzkill.
I guess the silver lining in it is hopefully it's in a game that the team wins by 30, and you don't need that atmosphere.
The Utah State game, you'd feel a little different about it. Yeah,
certainly.
And I think the first one might have been Texas Southern, or there was a game earlier this year, but I don't think it was a conference game. That's a tough one. All right, what are your final thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a game where Boise State picks their number. Honestly,
84 is the Vegas over/under for Boise State points. What do you think? 84.
With the pace that Fresno State plays at and the, let's say, the defense that they do or don't always play, I would go over that number. I think it's a game that Tyson Dagenhart gets a lot of points. Throughout his career, he'll show up in big games, but part of what makes Tyson so special is he's the consistently, we're playing kind of a lower level opponent. I'm not going to take my foot off the gas. I'm going to go get 20, 25 points and lead the way. So I would go over on 84 points for Boise State. The question for me is just, are they bothered by Fresno's pace? Are they bothered by some of Fresno's junk defense stuff, especially with UNLV on deck on Tuesday? Are the coaches, are the players looking ahead a little bit, or are they going to be present here for this one? So, it should be a game where they pick their number. As the metrics want to see about 20 points. The big thing for me to come out of this game happy is just going to be control the game. Don't let it get to 6 with 8 minutes left in the second half, right? If you win by 15, but it was at 15-20 most of the game, I think most fans will be fairly happy with that.
Well, we appreciate it as always, Nathan. Looking forward to your penmanship, the article you'll be writing for BroncoNationNews.com next week. And we'll see what happens today, man. Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate Nathan Carroll for jumping on and joining us. You can read his work at BroncoNationNews.com. Yes, as you can see, the sound system is broken, folks, or the video board is broken. They won't have the full video board today. One of the sides is working. One of the sides is not. And, that's disappointing for Boise State today in a conference game to not have the video board working, but it is what it is tonight. Line of 20 points for Boise State. We'll see if they can cover that. Hope you guys enjoy the game. We'll have a full post-game show. Abe Jackson, Nathan Carroll, Leon Rice, some players, post-game interviews. Don't miss it. Join us post-game. Go listen to Jay Tust. Watch the game on the Mountain West Network, themw.com, and then join us back post-game. Boise State trying to get 2 wins in a row, trying to get the momentum rolling here against Fresno State. We appreciate all you guys from watching, from the Buchanan family in Indiana, everybody else watching across the United States and the world. Thank you so much for watching the show. And we will see you guys post-game. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
It's game day. Are you ready?
Let's go!
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Voucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.